right, hey everyone, welcome back. We like to go deep on a topic here, and today we're diving into something that's super relevant right now, especially as we head into the holiday season,
Yes.
and that is setting healthy boundaries.
Yes.
And we chose this topic for you because we know you're all about well-being, and we know that the holidays can be awesome, but they can also be kind of a pressure cooker.
Yes.
And so we're thinking about family dynamics,
Mhm.
all those social commitments, maybe financial stress, all that good stuff.
Right.
So you get some great material to pull from today, and we're going to try to find some strategies for you to kind of navigate those tricky situations.
Absolutely.
So I guess maybe the best place to start is, with something simple, but I think something that we often forget,
Yeah.
defining your priorities.
Yes, I think that is the key, right? Because you can get swept up in the holiday season, as we know, and feel obligated to do everything. And I think it's so important to just take a moment to really think about what matters most to you during the holidays, whether that's spending quality time with loved ones, honoring specific traditions, or simply prioritizing some rest and relaxation.
Yeah.
Whatever it is for you.
Yeah, so instead of feeling like you got to say yes to everything,
Right.
you pause and you ask yourself, does this actually align with what I'm trying to do?
Yes, exactly. And if it doesn't, then that's where open and honest communication comes in, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
Because the holidays are not the time to be a people pleaser.
Right.
It might be a little awkward or uncomfortable, but having those open and honest conversations with family and friends,
Yeah.
it can really save you a lot of stress
Right.
and resentment and all those things that we don't want.
I think that's a really great point because, I'm trying to think about a situation. For example, let's say your aunt expects you to bring a certain dish to, the holiday dinner, right?
Right.
But you're already feeling super overwhelmed.
Yeah.
How do you say no in that situation without hurting feelings?
That's a great example. And I think in that particular scenario, you could use, something called an I statement,
Right.
where you really are expressing how you feel, but not putting the blame on anyone else.
Right.
So you could say something like, Sarah, I always love making your favorite dish, but I'm just feeling a bit stretched thin this year. Would it be okay if I maybe contributed in a different way?
Yeah.
Something along those lines,
I love that.
just to be really honest.
Yeah, and it's direct, but it's also kind,
Exactly.
respectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so hard for us to say no.
It is. It is. And that's really, I think, one of the biggest tips that I can share is, give yourself permission to
Mhm.
say no. Because it is self-preservation.
Right.
It's not selfish. Think about protecting your time and energy,
Yeah.
because that way you can really show up for the things that you said yes to.
Right.
And when you do say no, just do it politely and really let people know, I appreciate the offer, but I really just need some downtime this year, that kind of thing.
Reframe it as self-care. I like that.
Yes.
Now, families, right.
Yeah.
Even when we set those boundaries, family can get intense during the holidays.
Yes.
I know our sources talk about this too, like navigating those difficult conversations.
Absolutely. Because, family dynamics are complicated, as we know. And the holidays can bring up things that have been going on for a really long time. So it's helpful to kind of think ahead and anticipate, what those topics might be or those comments that might come up, and prepare yourself with some answers that, again, are honest and clear, but also respectful,
Yeah.
so that you can keep things calm and not get, reactive.
So almost like having a script.
Yeah, like a mental script, for sure.
Hmm.
So for instance, let's say that somebody, a relative, starts to comment on your personal choices,
Oh, yeah.
like your career, your relationship status.
Oh, no, this one.
And you just have a response ready, like, I understand you're curious, but I'm not really comfortable talking about that right now.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something else? Or, if they try to push back on boundaries you've set,
Yeah.
you can say, I respect your opinion, but I've already made my decision about this.
Yeah.
And I'd really appreciate it if we could just respect that.
It kind of takes the pressure off in the moment, if you have those phrases in mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about money too, right?
Yes.
Financial boundaries,
Mhm.
because there's always that pressure to overspend, and then January rolls around and it's like,
Oh,
oh no. So do you have any practical advice for people who really want to stay within a budget this year?
Well, I think first and foremost, setting a budget is, the most important thing. Yeah.
And it's also helpful to have a conversation with family and friends about, gift giving.
Yeah.
Like maybe set spending limits.
Okay.
Or, maybe you do a Secret Santa exchange.
Right.
Or maybe you come up with alternative ideas for gifts, like donating to a charity.
Oh, no,
in
yeah.
each other's names. There's all kinds of creative ways to kind of get around that pressure.
Right.
And focus on what really matters.
It kind of shifts it away from the material stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up.
Yes.
Self-care.
So important.
Right. Because, I know for me during the holidays, it's like that's the first thing that goes.
It is.
I'm busy, I'm doing stuff. So do you have any advice on maybe even small ways that people can just fit in a little self-care into their holiday routine?
Even if it's small pockets of time, it can make such a difference.
Okay.
Maybe it's just 10 minutes in the morning, meditate,
Yeah.
have a cup of tea,
Yeah.
quiet time,
A quick walk, whatever it is, if you can just schedule it in.
make it non-negotiable. I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember you're not alone.
Yeah.
And sometimes during the holidays, it's like, ugh, I can't handle this.
Right.
It can be helpful to just, call up a trusted friend, family member.
Absolutely. I think talking about it, even if it's just venting a little bit, can make you feel less alone and less overwhelmed. And just knowing that other people are going through this too.
So as we wrap up today, I think the biggest takeaway is that setting boundaries during the holidays isn't about being a Grinch. It's not about saying no to everything.
No.
It's about taking care of yourself
Yes.
and having more joy, actually.
Exactly. Exactly. And I would say if you can take away one thing from this, just choose one thing we talked about and really commit to it.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's the I statements, the financial boundaries, the self-care, whatever it is, making even a small change can make a big difference.
I love that. So you deserve to enjoy the holidays. And setting these healthy boundaries is really a gift to yourself.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you back here for another deep dive soon.